Welcome, readers. Today on Book Chat, we are sharing some of our highly anticipated books that are coming to our bookshelves this summer. Stay tuned. Today's episode is sponsored in part by Audiobooks.com. Audiobooks.com now has 175,000 titles and 1.2 million podcasts. New customers get 3 free audiobooks comprised of 1 premium credit and 2 VIP titles. Use our promo code Shelf Addiction, spelled as one word, when you sign up at audiobooks.com. Again, our promo code is Shelf Addiction. Hey everyone, I'm your host, Tamara Ford, and welcome to Book Chat here on the Shelf Addiction Podcast. Participate in this discussion by joining the Facebook group Shelf Addiction Official. I hope to hear your thoughts on today's topic. You can always find me and Casey on Twitter and Instagram. The links for everything I've mentioned are below in the show notes. If you enjoyed today's episode, please support this podcast by sharing it with some book nerd friends or on your favorite social media space. That would really help me out, and I appreciate you for doing so. The uncut video version of this podcast is available now on Patreon. Join us there for exclusive videos, including after shows and more. So if you're interested in that at all, you'll need to come on over to Patreon and sign up. Without further ado, let's get started. We've got a lot to talk about today, so we are going to jump right on in. Joining me is feature co-host Casey from Heart Full of Ink. Welcome back, Casey.
Hello, hello. I'm so happy to be here, as always.
As always, I'm glad you're here. So today we are sharing our summer 2022 anticipated fiction books. We've got a wide variety of genres for you today. We're including standalone titles and next in series, and we're going to talk about those in release date order. So that's going to be fun. So you can mark them down as you listen or watch if you're on Patreon. And I think we've got some good picks. So of course,
I think so too.
With as everything, we haven't actually read these books yet. So we are anticipating them based on the information we have. Mm-hmm. We make no promises on if these are actually going to be good because we don't know yet. So don't come back saying, Tara, that book sucks. Because I mean, you never know.
We don't know. And these books are coming out later this summer. So give us a couple months to get the book and then read the book.
Yes. But, you know, with the libraries and all that fun stuff, you got to anticipate what you want to read so you can get your hands on it in a timely manner. And so that's what we're here to help you with. You know, feed that shelf addiction of yours.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
All right. So we'll get started. My first book technically comes out before the first day of summer, which happens to be, June 21st this year. Can you believe that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's wild. So let's see. Let me open up my little screen share. And for those of you on Patreon, you all can see what we're talking about. Unfortunately, if you're listening, you can't see it. But, you know, it is what it is. So my first book is Games for Dead Girls by Jen Williams. It comes out June 7th, and it is a mystery thriller. I think it might have some like horror aspects, but it's definitely for those that like Jennifer Hillier, which I do like her. I've read a couple books by her and enjoyed. Lisa Jewell, I've read one of hers and enjoyed. So I'm all about this. You guys know I love mystery and thriller books. So this looks like the cover art looks fun. It looks
really creepy.
Yeah, it looks like it's like some kind of cave in England. I'm not going to read the synopsis, but it looks really cool. And I guess it's about the girls who disappeared in some kind of cave or something. So looks fun. Yeah, we might actually read it on a buddy read. We'll see.
Ooh.
We'll see. All right, so that's that one. Yeah, I was trying to decide, you guys, if I wanted to attempt to read these synopsises, and I said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm too tired and lazy for that. So we're going to just go the easy route, and we're just going to high level it. So my next one is Juniper and Thorn, and this actually comes out June 21st on the first day of summer, of all things.
Summer!
And this one is by Ava Reed, and it is a retelling of the juniper tree. And at first I'm like, what's the juniper tree? So I actually looked it up, and it's this outrageous story. It's like one of the Grimm's fairy tales.
Uh-huh.
So of course it's horror and
Hmm.
fantasy. And I'm like, wow, this seems right up my alley. Adult retelling,
Yes.
horror, fantasy. And it's like, so the original story is about like this guy and this woman. I guess they're married, and under the juniper tree, she like kind of wishes to have a kid. And of course, then she gets pregnant. The woman dies. She tells her husband to bury me under the juniper tree. He does that. The baby is born, before the woman dies. He gets remarried. Of course, it's the whole evil stepmother
Hmm.
thing.
Hmm.
So she abuses the child and all this other kind of stuff, and then eventually kills the child, kills him. And then the husband doesn't even know she killed the child. And eventually, like, I think she tricks her own daughter into thinking that she killed him by doing
What?
something like physically aggressive toward him, but he was already dead. And she cooks him in this soup and they eat him.
Oh my God.
And then a ghost comes back that looks like a bird. Basically, he gets revenge and then happily ever after. So I'm like, okay, this is like the
I,
baseline from what I understand the story
mhm.
is. So I'm like, yeah, I'm down for this.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm down for it. Now, the cover art, I'm not loving the cover art, but so far the ratings are really good. Like for the people
Hmm.
who've had gotten their hands on it early, although I try not to put too much weight on that. Um,
Yeah.
but it sounds good, and I hear her writing is very like her. It's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Whimsical and
Hmm.
pretty.
Magical.
Yeah, so I
Ooh.
hear that's her writing style. So we'll see.
This
We'll
looks
see.
amazing. I'm
Yes.
adding it to my TBR right now.
Yes. And of course, this is a retelling, so it won't be exactly like the original. Um,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So it's about two sisters and their wizard father. So we'll see how that goes. I think I might actually read the original, like legit read the original
Hmm.
instead of just the synopsis.
Yeah.
I might do
Ooh.
it, just to compare and contrast. Oh my gosh. So I guess the third one is mine as well. I got all the early summer picks,
Let's
guys.
keep
Early.
going.
So the third one is The It Girl by Ruth Ware. Now you guys know Ruth Ware from all of her past successes. She's been writing a long time. She is like really an expert in the mystery thriller genre. And I've read a couple books by her and had a good time with them. Like none of them have been like, honestly, like 5-star books, but they've all been like 3 or 4-star books, and I've enjoyed every one. So I thought, why not? Let's go back to England again. Spent a lot of time in England this summer, apparently, and see what this book is about. The It Girl. So let's see. Oh shit. Okay, so apparently I was reading the synopsis. So apparently, like the ultimate It Girl pulls this girl into her orbit, and she has this great group of friends all in
Mhm.
school. And then by the end of the second term, the It Girl was dead. So a year later, I guess the girl Hannah who gets pulled into that group, she has her first child, and she's going, like, she realizes something's going on. And then she's like, well, let's figure out what happened to April. Somehow she gets pulled back into this old history. And now she's like, what happened to April? Who are my
Ooh.
friends? Do I know my friends at all? So I think, obviously, who in my friend group killed the It Girl? I think that's what it's going to
Mhm.
be. July 12th, y'all. If you like Ruth Ware, July 12th.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah, that I'll read on my own, definitely.
Okay, it's my turn.
Yay!
Yay! So my first summer pick is Eclipse the Moon by Jessie Mahalik. This is the second book in her Starlight Shadows series. I have been a fan of Jessie since her debut book, Polaris Rising, which came out 2 years ago. I think she's still fairly new.
Yeah.
Um, this series is very similar. There's a lot of hijinks, and it's a space opera. Um, there's action and adventure and kind of a slow burn romance going on. So you meet these characters in book one. This is definitely you have to read book one before you can read book two, but I also highly recommend book one kind of thing going on here. There was, I don't want to give anything away, but there was a lot of
is this like a new couple or a new couple? Like the last series, they kind of went couple to couple.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So each book has a different couple. You do need to watch or read book one to see these people because Key and Varro definitely have a lot of tension going on in book one. And I was like, will they, won't they? What's happening? And now, I'm going to get their book and they're going to. I'm hoping for a lot more action. Because in Jesse's last series, the first book was really good. And then each book kind of got less action-y and more, I don't know, like they just kind of slowed down. So I'm hoping that this one will have a lot more action because these two characters deserve that action. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And in her last series, I feel like the first book was the best book.
Yes.
So,
and this Eclipse the Moon definitely has the grumpy hero, sunshine heroine. Like, if you love that trope, I think you're going to like this book.
Brooding man.
Yes, brooding man.
Brooding man.
And if you liked Polaris Rising, I highly, highly recommend picking up, Starlight Shadows series because it's, again, in that same vein. Jessie, she knows her genre. She knows what she wants to write. She's writing not the same story every time, but she has that same vibe going on in all of her stories.
So this doesn't feel like you're rereading the other series.
No,
okay.
No, it's totally different. That one was more political because they were the children of, the senator, president, whoever. Like that had a lot of political stuff to it. These are soldiers after a war. Ooh. And now they're kind of like Firefly in the sense that they're a small group on their little pirate ship. They're not quite breaking the law, but they're like, we'll take stuff to different areas. We'll do stuff that's kind of like morally gray, but we have our own moral code and we are, former soldiers. So yeah, no, a lot more action-y, but still space opera-y.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
It does. I may have to add it. I just, I feel like when I finished the Polaris Rising series, I was kind of like, ooh, that's done. But
yeah, no, the first book was like definitely 5 stars. The other 2 books were more 3 stars. Like they were good, but they weren't as good. This series definitely follows Polaris Rising book 1 vibes.
Okay. So it's hopeful.
Hopeful, yes.
Yes. All right. So the next book is mine again. Of course, I'm like, let me read as much as I can at the beginning of the summer.
That's okay.
So this is Things We Do in the Dark by Jennifer Hillier. I just mentioned her name earlier. I've read other books by her and enjoyed them. And so, of course, we have more mystery thriller. And it sounds interesting to me. It comes out July 19th. When Paris is arrested in her own bathroom, covered in blood, holding a straight razor, her celebrity husband dead in the bathtub behind her.
Oh, damn!
She knows she'll be charged with murder. But as bad as this looks, it's not what worries her the most. What could it be? Media attention, sounds like. Hidden past. All those things that could destroy her new life. Oh, come on. It sounds so good. And then you go back 25 years and we get to know, the characters in the past. So it's that combination of past and present.
Ooh.
Yeah. So she has to, Paris must confront her dark past. She escaped. And the only thing worse than one murder charge is 2 murder charges. Yeah. So this sounds like interesting. Like, I don't know, killing your husband. Yeah, sure. I'll see.
Yeah. He sounds dead, but
it does.
Who did it?
I know. I bet she didn't because I don't know. I just bet she didn't. I mean, to be put like this right in the synopsis, that would be really bold if she actually did. I don't know.
It would be, but it'd be really cool.
I know. Actually, we read a book last year, and Buddy reads. The Perfect Wife. I think it was called The Perfect Wife. I can't remember right now. Forgive me for if that's wrong. But the woman pretty much on the first page said, "Yeah, I killed my husband. I did it. Now what?" Like, yeah, I did it.
Now what?
And, it goes into the story. Like, we go back and kind of figure out what the hell's going on. But I do love when people be like, yeah, I did this, but she ended up being a good person. She did it for a good reason. So.
Oh, good. Yes. It's always good to be murder for a good reason.
I mean, that's the only way to murder. That's if you're going to do it for a good reason. Anyway, you're up, Casey.
Okay. So I have never, not praised Nalini Singh. She is my all-time favorite author. So, of course, I had to put her next Side Changeling book up on here, Storm Echo, which is the 21st book in the Side Changeling series. But what I absolutely love about Nalini and what I just bow down to her is that no book feels repetitive. No book feels like she's telling the same story and it's boring and we've been here, done that. No, each book is new and exciting and there's so much going on in her world building that you're still like, what is happening? I need more. I need more. I need more. So can't really talk about what's going on in Storm Echo if you don't know this world, because major, massive spoilers all around. It's paranormal romance. Her romances are incredible and the world building is epic and big shit is going down in this world.
21 books.
21 books. And I have read all of them and I have loved all of them and they are all 5-star ratings for me.
That is a commitment. That's a huge commitment. I don't know, y'all. If you're already knee deep into this series.
It is technically kind of a spinoff in the Side Changeling Trinity. And so this is book 6 in the spinoff. But you really don't understand what is happening in the series if you start with a spinoff. You really, really, really need to start with book 1, Slave to Sensation, and work all the way through all 21 books. And I personally think they are absolutely worth it.
Okay.
I've been a diehard fangirl since 2005, 2006.
Wow. So I'm excited for you.
Be excited for me. Be happy with me.
I mean, I can't start something with 21 books out. Or 20 and soon to be 21 books out. I cannot fathom doing something like that right now, but
I'm actually thinking about doing a repeat sometime, maybe
Girl,
this year, next year.
When?
When I find the time,
You're like, I can sleep next year. It's fine.
Oh yeah, who needs sleep? Gotta live in this world.
Right.
That's not even counting all of the short stories and little excerpts, and because she has freebie stories on her website. And all of the novellas. So yeah, no, I could read everything by her for a solid year.
Wow. That's really hardcore. The fandom is real. You're in there.
The fandom is real. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
She is amazing. I love her. Highly recommend.
Okay. Let's see what's next.
Oh, okay. So this is my new to me author. The book is called Violet Made of Thorns by Gina Chen, and it is a YA fantasy kind of romance coming out at the end of July. And I am just really excited about this because it says morally gray witch. And I'm just like, yep, I'm here for that.
Love it.
You said morally gray, I am here. There's also a cursed prince and a prophecy. And it's supposed to be this beautiful, epic fantasy. I think it might actually be her debut novel. Yeah, no, right there says her fantasy debut. So I'm always on the lookout for fantasy books, and this sounds like it's right up my alley.
Yeah, I've added it to my may read someday list. I'm definitely attracted to all the things in the synopsis, but what's throwing me is I wish I knew what about these two books that the publisher is comparing this to. It says perfect for fans of The Cruel Prince and Serpent and Dove. Me and Holly Black books don't get along that well.
I read The Cruel Prince.
Yeah.
And I have to say, Holly Black knows how to write a very beautiful sentence. She's an amazing writer, but I absolutely despise the story she told. It was horribly, horribly toxic and abusive, and just like everybody needs to go spend a decade in therapy.
Oh.
And like, no, everybody, like the romance is not a romance. That is straight up abuse on both sides. They were awful to each other. I don't care if he's half fae with his little deer legs and tail and no, like that does not excuse anything.
And honestly, may I just say, I personally do not, like, I don't mind shapeshifters. You can shift into anything you please, but please, when it comes down to it, and we come together, be all the way humanoid, all the way.
All the way. He was not all the way. He was not. And I was like, no.
Yeah, I can't.
That was the least problem. Like they were terrible to both. Like, no. Okay. So The Cruel Prince, no. But Holly Black can write a beautiful sentence. And like, as an editor, I just sit there and look at it and I'm like, wow, your word choice is amazing. But I hate this story, but I can't look away because I'm in awe of how you write. Just let's change what you write because this is not good. Like, no.
Yeah. I mean, to me, when you're talking like epic fantasy, high fantasy, even like just like fantasy in this, vein that, it seems like it could possibly lend itself to a little bit of epicness, there's like a balance, right, involved. You want it to sound beautiful, but you want to enjoy it too. So I don't know. We'll see. You got to let me know what you think of it after you read it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And if you really, really love it, then I might shift this over to my my actual TBR if you love it.
Okay.
If you don't love it, it's going to fall off my list altogether. I got to be honest.
That's fair. That is fair.
Yeah.
You got to listen to your friends about the books.
Yes.
And if we love it, it's worth it. But if we hate it, yeah.
Or even if you say meh, you got to weigh. Meh. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do I want to do it? I don't know. So you got to let us know, like, on a future, like, after show or something, how you like it when you're done.
I will.
So up next is The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. Comes out August 16th. I have not read this author before, but it sounds really good. It's another mystery thriller. And I'm not really sure. I should have done my research on this. What is a pitch black thriller? What is
I have no idea.
I'm like, okay, so I guess she is the author of the acclaimed In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife. And they say this is a pitch black thriller about a woman determined to destroy a powerful cult and avenge the deaths of women taken by it, no matter the cost. So pitch black. I guess
Google that.
Dark? I don't know. Yeah, let's see. Well, guys, if you know what a pitch black, can I talk? If you know what a pitch black thriller is, fill me in. I'm just going to say dark, like dark thriller. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. That's all I'm seeing is that like pitch black means dark.
Mm-hmm.
Is she an author of color? Maybe it means everybody is of color.
Oh, no, she is definitely white.
Okay. Never mind.
Oh, let's see about the author. See, now that I scroll down, now I'm curious. She lives in Houston with her husband, 2 cats, and beloved wine fridge. Y'all, if you can see Casey's face, she's like, oh.
She's that lady. Okay.
She's that lady. So, I mean, I'm curious to see. So, I guess this woman was a part of a cult, and she and her friend were the only ones who managed to escape. It's been 8 years, and now she finds out that her friend is dead. And I guess now she recruits the help of a podcast host, I guess a true crime podcast host, and she goes back to the place she vowed she would never return in search of answers. And yeah, I don't know. It just sounds interesting to me. This probably, honestly, not to be shady, but this probably won't be top on my list, but I think it'll be an interesting read just because of the culty aspects and depending how dark it actually gets. 'Cause, I don't mind a dark book. And the fact that, like, and I know a lot of these, like, blurbs and stuff, people are paid to do sometimes, or authors exchange blurbs, so I try not to put too much weight in them. But Samantha Downing put a blurb on the front. A stunning, disturbing thriller that had me gasping for air. Now, I like Samantha Downing. She's a good author. I've read a couple of her books. She's a solid author. I've interviewed her. She's great. If this is a legit, for real blurb or whatever, then I feel like, I might like it, so definitely. It's on my list. We'll see how it goes. I'll have to let you know because this cover art's interesting too. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah. Is it a thread or is it broken glass? What is?
It looks like a thread and a needle, like someone's trying to thread a needle. I wonder what that has to do with it. I guess time will reveal.
Yeah. Once you read the book, you'll have to tell us.
Yes. I will. All right. Next up, this is Casey's. I let her claim this, but it's technically on both of our lists. Yes. So you go ahead, Casey.
Obviously, it's Soul Taken by Patricia Briggs. And if you've been following the podcast for any length of time, you know that we read the entire series on the fantasy read along. We both love Mercy. We love Patricia Briggs. We are fully invested in this series.
Yes.
So this is book number 13, and it's about the vampire wolf who might be a little touched in the head. If you've read the series, he's a little creepy. He's a little weird.
He's missing a couple screws.
Yes. And so we're going back into the whole vampire realm with Mercy, because in the Mercy Thompson series, she is a changeling shifter. What is her official title? I don't remember. But she's also like married to the wolves. She deals with the fae. She deals with the vampires. It's going to be good. And I'm so excited. But little side note, Patricia Briggs recently announced that the Mercy Thompson series has been optioned by Amazon Prime.
Whoa, yay.
Nothing is official yet. They have, I think, like 18 months to figure out what they want to do with it. And as a diehard Mercy Thompson fan, I hope they pass. Yeah. I don't trust Amazon Prime to give Mercy Thompson what she needs in a TV show. And I think I'm in the minority.
Yeah, I could see them making it campy, and it's not campy.
No, we want dark and gritty and a little sexy. Like, I want season 1 to be really torn between Adam and Sam. Like, because it took 3 or 4 books before she was fully committed to Adam, her now husband, mate. But back in book 1, there was a lot of back and forth. Will they, won't they? And, I would love a TV show to like really dive into the series and really give us what we want. And I don't know. I just don't trust Amazon Prime.
like, I feel like, I mean, and I know that the CW could not give us the adult things that we want, but in my mind, I envision like the vibe of the originals, you know, very adult and chic and sleek, but more hardcore, right? More, just more everything. And maybe Netflix could deliver that. Maybe
if the right people take it to Netflix, they can do it. But it really depends on who is writing it, who is producing it. Patricia Briggs gave up all rights to, you know, writing and helping with it, which I think is kind of bullshit. I would like her to be in the writer's room.
But see, this is the thing about these kind of stories. The way the magic writes, like with Mercy and how she's able to turn into this coyote and like all the other, how the magic, you know, how the pack pulls on the magic, like the pack leader pulls and he changes fast or slow. And there's all these like magical things. And that cost a lot of money to look right on screen. So this is going to be, if they do it right, it's going to be an expensive show to make.
Yes.
Or it's going to look cheesy.
Yeah. And you don't want cheesy with this. You want it to look good. And we have the technology. We just need the money to produce it. And I just,
and I hope Amazon realizes this, like, seriously, do not, like, it's so far, like, Amazon has been hit or miss with me in their series. Some are okay. Some are meh. Some are fail. So I think, for some reason, I feel like Amazon can pull it off if they make the real commitment. And like you said, they get the right writers who have read the source material
and who understand
the
source
material. Yes.
They've read it. They love it. Like they need fans in the drawing room, so to speak. They need fans who understand Mercy, who understand that love triangle between her and Adam and Sam. They need to understand who Bran is. Like, hello, how can we get an invisible man who's the most powerful man? Like,
I know. And to be like, quite frank, casting for this is going to be a bitch. Like, I can't think of anybody on the top of my head that would be a good fit for Mercy. She's so different, you know?
Yeah. No, they would need to find a first American woman, like a woman of color, a brown woman from some tribe that, you know,
that's hopefully recognizable
in the show. Yes.
Because I mean, honestly, like no one wants a brand new show full of people who nobody knows. That alone, outside the fans, it's going to be hard to pull new viewers if you don't have anybody recognizable in that cast, right? Like, oh yeah, I recognize that lady from this show. Or, you know, when the trailers drop and stuff, you need recognizable people. You do. And it's going to be hard to find people that fit these lanes. So, I don't know. It's scary.
I love Mercy. I'm happy for Patricia Briggs, but I'm so nervous and scared. And I don't think Amazon Prime can pull it off. And so...
No.
18 months. I hope they pass.
You know who could pull it off? Honestly, I think AMC Plus could pull it off. AMC could pull it off because they've done a really good job, or whatever English channel they worked with to produce this, because they did the Discovery of Witches really good. They did that really well. And I know it's like AMC and another station that's over in the UK. So it was like Sundance or something like that. It was some production company. So whatever team did that could probably pull this off. It won't be as good as the books. Never. I don't think anything will be as good as the books, but they might have a chance because they somehow made a Discovery of Witches a really decent show and it wasn't campy. So I don't know. There's hope, but I don't know if Amazon's going to pull the right people or spend enough money. So y'all see how much we care about this series. We went on a whole tangent
Yes. Sorry about the tangent.
But
I love Mercy. Soul Taken comes out August 23rd, 2022.
yes.
It will be amazing because all of the books in the series are amazing.
Yes. And be prepared to hear a podcast episode because we will always keep this series going.
Yes.
And you can hear us talk more about that because I'm sure by the time this comes out, maybe we'll hear a little more, cross our fingers. Maybe we'll hear some progress. Who knows? It could be a while. Maybe not.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. Next up.
My final pick and the final pick for both of us, excuse me, is Ruby Fever by Ilona Andrews. It is the 6th book in the Hidden Legacy series, but the 3rd and final book for Catalina. So we read the first 3 with her sister back on the podcast Fantasy Read Along. Loved it so much. Yes. Of course, we loved Catalina and had to read all of her books. So, of course, when this one drops, we're going to pick it up and read it. Did you keep up with this series?
Yes, I am all caught up. So I am ready for Ruby Fever.
Yes. I don't know what to say without giving stuff away.
You can't really.
Like the end of the series and the end of the trilogy. And just like, if you don't like Ilona Andrews at this point, first of all, what's wrong with you? And secondly, like, if you're a fan, you know it's Catalina. We're here for Catalina.
Is this the end? Because they still have one more sister.
I don't think that they're going to do any more of the siblings traditionally published.
Okay.
I think they may wait until their contract ends with Avon and then possibly self-publish the other siblings. Like there is the other sister, there's the brother, there's,
like
they could do, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that they might be just self-publishing all of that later. But they have all the other books and series that they're also writing, like Julie from the Kate Daniels series. She's getting a 2nd book eventually. And their Innkeeper Chronicles, they're still working on that. And
that makes me sad, though. Like, I feel like that means these books aren't getting the people aren't buying these books like the others. If they're going to wait to self-pub more, that's telling me like they don't have a contract for anymore.
So what I've heard, I haven't really followed their blog, but what I've heard is that they are choosing to never work with the publisher ever again.
Really?
That they consciously want to self-publish every book they write for the rest of their career.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why or what's going on. Again, I'm not following the blog the way I should as a fan.
Yeah.
But like I know when they published Julie's book, they were worried that nobody wanted to read it. And it became a #1 New York Times bestseller, like the week it released. And so I think they realized that they can make a lot more money self-publishing than they can traditionally publishing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just speaking words right now. I don't really know what I'm saying. But yeah, I've heard that they don't want to traditionally publish anymore.
What's that guy's name that just had that huge, what is that man's name?
Sanderson?
Yes. Are they trying to do a Brandon Sanderson? Are they going to like do a Kickstarter and all that kind of stuff?
I feel like if they did, they would surpass him like faster than he got his millions. I think Ilona Andrews fans would give her and Gordon millions and millions like within a couple days. But I don't know if they would ever actually do that. Because that's not who they are. They just want to write and publish their books. And
yeah. Okay. Well, just FYI, Brandon Sanderson raised a record-setting $41 million. And he was trying to get 1 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's insane. That is insane.
So, I mean, hopefully they can be just as successful or even more publishing their
even
own
more
books.
Successful. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they have they've been writing a long time. I think
they have a lot of fans.
They do. And that is what they are pulling on. If they, I mean, I understand that self-publishing is a whole different beast, right? And you don't get on everyone's radar without having a team to support you. So if you're going to just switch to self-publishing, I feel like that's a big risk unless you already have the infrastructure, quote unquote, in place to keep pushing your books and keeping your name out there. You're writing only on the strength of the existing fans if you don't.
Yeah, but they have fans. Like I said, when they published Julie's book, like that was self-published and they weren't even going to write it because they had a lot of hate mail about Julie because people are stupid, but they published it and it became a #1 New York Times best-selling book. And they're like, oh, we do have fans and we do have people who like Julie. Okay.
Oh, no, that doesn't mean that. Because like I think about like, it doesn't mean they like Julie. Because I think about if Briggs were to write a book about Christy, people have talked about her doing that. I freaking hate her. I hate her guts. But I would read her book to find out what kind of hell she gets herself into. That doesn't mean I like Christy. That means, yes, you have fans. Your fans want to read your stuff, but that doesn't mean they like that character. It's hate read. They hate read it.
No, Julie's book was good. We love Julie. I love Julie.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not familiar with Julie, so. But
she was a teenager in the book, and people just hate teenagers for acting like teenagers, apparently. And then when her book came out, it's 10 years later, so she's an adult, and people are still like, oh, well, I just hate her because she's so immature. And I was like, she's 16. She's supposed to be immature.
Wow.
And now she's 26 and kicking ass and taking names. So, love it.
Gross.
Highly recommend.
All right, cool. So, yeah, we definitely recommend Hidden Legacies, Ruby Fever. Finish that out. It's a good time. And it's only 6 books, in total. So if you haven't read it before, you can still get in on it and not be overwhelmed. Unlike, 21 books.
Hashtag worth it.
Hashtag worth it. Okay. All right. So I think we've reached the end of our list. It was quite a hefty list after all.
It was, but it's a good list. And I'm really excited. We have a lot of good books coming out this summer.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun summer of reading, which I love because sometimes it's awfully bland. It seems like there's some good stuff. And we had like a variety of things. We didn't really have any real traditional romance. We didn't have any traditional romance in our list, but
no
I'm cool
contemporaries.
With that. Yeah,
lots of fantasy, space opera, paranormal, thrillers, lots of dead bodies.
Dead bodies everywhere. That's fun
what you
stuff.
need over the summer. Yeah, dead bodies.
I know. I love it. I love the dead bodies. Bring it on. So anyway, all right. I guess we're going to end it there. What do you think, Casey?
I think we can end it there.
All right.
We did a good job.
Yes, we did a good job. Let's pat ourselves on the back.
Yes.
Because we don't pull together book lists too often, but when we do, I think we do a good job.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that is it. Thanks so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed our recommendations and have added a few of them to your TBR list. And we'll see you next time. Until then, happy reading. Take care, guys.
Bye, everybody.
If you enjoyed today's episode and would like to show your support, there are a few things you can do. Head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a positive 5-star review, or like this episode on your favorite podcast player. It seems so simple, but it really helps me out. You can share this podcast with other book nerd friends or on your favorite social media space. You can also join the Shelf Addiction Patreon family. For as little as $2 a month, you will help us produce even more awesome content for your ears. You can also consider joining the Shelf Addiction Official Facebook group, where we talk all things bookish and more in a safe space. The Shelf Addiction Podcast is a part of the Nerdy Maven Network. You can also reach us via email at info@shelfaddiction.com. Thank you for listening.